It's time for another collaborative podcast that no one asked for. From the creators of Cases of Continuity, No New Friends, and Big Beautiful Dis, get ready for Creators United. And now, give it up for your hosts, Ryan, Dane, and Scott.
Wow, welcome back to Creators United. It's been a while, but we are excited to finally be back, almost at our 1-year anniversary. For those of you who may have forgotten since we last came at you in March, my name is Ryan. I am one of the hosts on this show. I am the host of Cases of Continuity, a podcast that is currently on hiatus, but I am also one of the hosts of a new and upcoming show, Into the Disneyverse, which will release its first episode on Monday, June 17th. So stay tuned for that. And as always, I am joined by the host of the YouTube channel Big Beautiful Diz and the host of Beyond the Glass, the new documentary on Big Beautiful Diz, Dane. Dane, what is your favorite type of marsupial?
What?
What's your favorite marsupial?
Is it bad that I don't know what these are? Is this like
a kangaroo or a wallaby or
common
a
animal? Red kangaroo.
Good answer.
Yeah.
We are also joined by a very special guest, one of the hosts of the No New Friends podcast and the owner of Sandpiper Vacations. We have Nick Bryan joining us today. Nick, welcome to the show. What is your favorite post-Soviet bloc country?
What?
What is your favorite country that used to be part of the Soviet Union?
I like the Caribbean. I don't know what to say here.
That's okay, but we're excited to have you on the show. So what can you tell us about Sandpiper
Nick.
Vacations?
Yeah, so we are an LGBT-owned travel agency. So we specialize in cruises and all-inclusive resorts, Disney, all the theme parks, basically. And we can basically book and help with planning any vacation destination around the world. So we take all the stress off of your hands and save you time and sometimes the money.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's such a great business, and especially exciting to highlight Sandpiper, of course, all the time, but especially in June during Pride Month. Love to support LGBTQIA plus owned and operated businesses.
So yeah, it is funny that we finally get Nick on in June because obviously, you know, Pride Month and everything. Nick, I did want to ask you a little bit about being a openly gay man in an open. Are you two married? You and Sean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
We've been married. This year is actually our 10th. Yeah, it's our 10th anniversary this year of being married.
That's what I thought.
Congratulations.
Cool.
Which it's weird to think about because it actually wasn't even legal nationwide when we got married. So we got married in 2014 out in California, and where it was legal there at the time, and then the year after that, it became legal in the entire country.
The reason I ask is because, I mean, you're very open with this kind of stuff, especially on like NNF and stuff like that. When you were starting Sandpiper, even now, do you face any challenges from being a gay owned and operated business? Because like, as much as there's people who have in you know, the correct opinion, you know, in accepting everyone for who they are, there's a lot of people that would be like very turned off by that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't feel like we have had any negativity toward us, and if so, nobody said anything at least. If anything, it's been a really positive experience by it. We've been recognized by so many amazing vacation destinations because of our just our support back to them as well too, and they want to show their support back to us. Like Disney, for example, has been a huge supporter of our business and helped me grow our business to what it is today. We have a really amazing direct contact with Disney, as well as a bunch of the cruise lines like Royal Caribbean and Virgin Voyages, who've been phenomenal to work with, and they like to hear our opinions on what they can do better to just show their acceptance, essentially, not just market themselves as gay friendly, but show their acceptance too. So
Mm.
it's really awesome to see the change and the support that we're getting from all them. If a client comes to me or doesn't want to book through us because we're gay, that's on them at this point. I don't care. There's plenty of
Yeah.
amazing
Go
people
ahead.
out there.
Yeah. Yeah,
And it's their
absolutely.
loss.
Yeah, that's good to hear because I've always wondered that if you've ever felt any like prejudice against you guys because you are so open with your relationship and stuff like that on
Yeah.
new friends. Uh Now I don't mean to bring this up because you did go through some serious health ailments recently, but recently I was sick as well. And let me tell you a little bit about it. So I got sick um actually back in like April, and then I got sick again recently. Um back in April I got the norovirus that was going around. Horrible, horrible
I heard
sickness.
I heard it was really big in Florida right now.
Yeah, horrible, dude. It's basically like 24 hours of just nothing but throwing up. It's a horrible experience, dude. So like at the time, right now, Big Beautiful Diz is on a break, right? So at the time, I still needed to create content, and I didn't want to take a week off, even though I was very sick. So like getting sick sucks in general, but as a content creator, it's even more horrible because you have to take a week off when you really don't want to. You know what I mean? Ryan, have you ever felt like
Mm.
that when you get something in the way, not just a sick, just like something
Mhm.
gets in the way of you uploading an episode?
Yeah, for me, truthfully, physical illness, I really don't struggle too much with. I really don't get very sick outside of allergies, but it's something I guess I haven't spoken too much of on shows before, but definitely mental,
Oh
um,
yeah.
you know, degrees of mental issues are things that I've certainly encountered. And cases of continuity going on a significant break was in no small part due to some mental struggles combined with significant roadblocks in my personal career that I was
Mhm.
dealing with and am, continuing to figure out. So definitely those are things I'm still working with. And although I'm very, very excited for the Into the Disneyverse podcast, I would love
Oh,
for
I'm
Cases of
too.
Continuity to return at some point as well. And so I can totally relate with the things that are outside of your personal control impeding the progress of your show.
Like I said, I know you've gone through some serious health issues like recently, and I hope you're better.
Yeah, it's I struggled a lot with my so my mental health was doing a lot better this year finally, but this year it was physical health, and
Yeah.
I turned 40 in September, so for me it's like I feel like my body's just like, we'll just shut down now. But it was just I lost all my energy levels to the point that I was literally walking to the bathroom. I was ready
Mm.
to just sleep for 4 hours, and that's what I did. So I slept probably almost 20 hours a day for a few days. So it was pretty weird.
Wow.
But I'm definitely doing better. We figured out, we think that it was mostly related to having some sleep apnea. So I got diagnosed with that, and things are on the right track, I feel, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. That's bad, but recently I got the sniffles, um, which is like really horrible. Like you don't know how bad the sniffles are until you get them. Like you're
Mm,
like, "Oh, this might sound silly." No, you're like in bed for half the day. You don't do anything, but you feel like you can do something because
yeah.
you're like, "Oh, I'm good to go." And I stand up and feel like shit. You know what I mean? It's a horrible experience. You only have them for like 2 days. It's like it's horrible. At least if you're having a serious health ailment, you're like in the hospital, you legitimately can't do anything. You're like, okay, hey, listen, you get like gifts sometimes. No, nobody gives you gifts for the sniffles. I'm like, you're a grown man, get your ass out of bed. And I'm like, no, I'm not feeling good.
Yeah, I feel like we all kind of push those elements aside too, even. I get sniffles all the time, and sometimes it just makes me
Mhm.
not want to do anything. And I feel like people don't support it. I just started getting migraines recently for the first time.
Oh,
And I don't think I truly understood or appreciated people that had migraines before. I'm like, oh, it's just a headache.
yeah.
But I think until you actually feel it, I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Mm-hmm. No,
I'd like to go
absolutely.
back a little bit to something that we were talking a little bit about earlier. So, Nick, you
Yeah, sure.
talked about how you were initially brought on to No New Friends podcast through No New Friends After Dark. Could you talk a little bit more about your journey with the No New Friends podcast and kind of what that's really developed into, something that I think has really become a fantastic iteration of the show currently?
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of changed the entire platform of the entire No New Friends eps or show now, essentially
Oh
too.
yeah.
But we went away from the After Dark, so After Dark episodes were we started out with some weird, very interesting interviews with quote unquote celebrities.
Do you have any favorite or super memorable ones of those?
Um,
Were you there for the director? For
I
the
th
film
I think
director?
I missed that one. I remember.
That
Oh,
was
Yeah,
just Scott and
you need
myself,
to
and
go
then you and
back.
Ryan watching
You need to
there
live.
go
was
back and listen to that.
the guy that was like talking about it was like the devil, not the devil, but
Oh,
Oh,
the
the
like
ghost guy.
metaphysicist?
Yeah.
yes.
That interview took place on a night we were supposed to record Creators United, and now he kept talking, so we had to delay the episode like an
He wouldn't
hour.
stop. Nobody asked him any questions, and he just talked for like an hour, and we're just like, "What's going
And it was
on at
like,
this point?"
yeah, and he kept talking. He kept saying about, yeah, he's like really like anti like corporate like corporation, and then he kept pushing his books.
Yeah, yeah. It was interesting times, and we started, I think, a few episodes in, just kind of started talking about me being gay, and then that's when like the serious talks kind of started coming out, and kind
Yeah.
of talking about mental health, which had been discussed kind of prior on the podcast when I wasn't on, and just Chris talking about his mental health, but it was more of a thing of like, oh, I'm just having a bad mental health day, and they moved past it. But now we're actually, I almost feel like the podcast has turned into therapy as well too,
Oh yeah. For
because
sure this kind of stuff can be therapy.
we're all talking about these subjects that are happening in our lives, but we're able to actually physically get it out of each other now. And I feel like before it was just fun, silly jokes that they might have made. And then if the other host, who's no longer there anymore, would happen to be on, she would talk the entire episode. So so now
Which
the
one
four of
talked
us.
more, the former host or the ghost guy? Which one talked?
Oh, I mean, I feel like the former host didn't even make sense half the time, but the ghost guy was kind of led me on there. Um,
He knew what he was talking about.
yeah, I mean,
You think the ghost guy would have sat through my segment?
No, probably
no,
not. Probably not.
he'd have left
Honestly.
with "Move, I'm Gay," I'm sure too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so I felt like the After Dark with No New Friends was a big heavy focus on me being introducing them to the gay community and introducing that side of it, talking about adoption, talking about all these life events, and then we became friends out of it. I
Mm.
wasn't friends with them before. I wasn't texting them on the side. Like even when we were first recording, we just check in like once a week, just be like, "Hey, this is what we're doing tonight," and that was about it. And now we have conversation with each other outside of that, and
Yeah.
we share memes and gifs and all that, and it's a friendship that formed. That's I think you guys can see it too on the podcast. Is now the four of us. Like I surprised them 2 weeks ago, flew down to Florida with my
Mm.
family and surprised them at Disney, which was pretty awesome to do. Unfortunately, we had to ruin the surprise a little bit, but it was still a nice surprise. And Scott wouldn't have came out to the parks that night had we not been there. So
Yeah, that it's kind of like what happened with Diz Journey because all of us kind of became friends because of Diz Journey. So like before that, I knew Chris from like the Diz's server or the Discord, but I didn't like text him as much as I do now. If after Diz Journey, all that kind of stuff happens. So like podcast can easily you can make friends
mhm.
through.
You and I really, like, we knew each other. We had appeared on the world famous his Patreon episode with Adam.
Oh, Nick,
but
let me ask you something real quick before we get off of this topic about the Patreon episode. If your significant other dies in a superhero attack,
oh my God.
what MCU character would you get to replace him?
I mean, I just think about what type of vacation I'm going on next.
You want to replace him?
No.
What vacation are you booking? That's the question.
Yeah,
Where
I
are
say
you going?
for me it'd be a vacation. I'd be like, where am I
Yeah.
going?
Where if
Australia.
Columbus gets destroyed in a like New York City style attack, where are you going?
You're right. Yeah.
Like Avengers 2012, it happens in Columbus. Where are you going?
Basically.
He's going to Lighthouse Key. on the Disney
Might I
treasure.
suggest one of my favorite post-Soviet bloc countries, Lithuania?
Why are we going back to the Soviet countries?
Hey, my
Okay.
ancestors were from Lithuania, okay?
Okay.
Going through all of the Creators United stuff and then going through the whole package film series on your YouTube channel, very similar. Now we had like what 3-4 hour conversations.
Oh, yeah.
That got insanely late at night, and so
I've called
I think it's
you. I've
cool.
called you after a sports game.
Yeah.
You like true bros do that.
Mhm.
When a guy calls you after, like if you're buddies and you like the same team, right? If you're texting or calling during or after a sports game, that's how you know you're true bros. I know Nick has no idea what I'm talking about right
Not
now.
about sports, but
here,
I'll watch a TV show maybe.
Yeah, I'll put it in terms for Nick here. The Bachelorette, the Bachelor.
Okay.
If
The
you
one with all the hot
call,
guys.
yeah, if you call Scott during The Bachelor because he probably also watched that show.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're true friends.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the whole point that we're all getting to here is that it's really cool how, even though very few of us have actually met in person, including Nick and I, who should have absolutely met in person by this point, despite all of that, we have this super tight-knit community.
So I just sent Chris, actually, and Emily a baby gift today, and they got it
Yeah.
in the mail this morning.
Baby gift, yeah.
Chris sent me an awesome gift, and he's like, he appreciated it so much because he knew how personable I made it too.
Yeah.
'Cause it was.
Oh, you
it was
made yours? You made yours?
We didn't make it. We bought it on Amazon, but we personalized it essentially in that we picked out some.
Personalized it? I just sent him a plushie off
I
of Shop
did-
Disney, man. Come on, you trying to upstage me?
Yeah, but we're gay. That's what we do. We have to always one up everybody. Yeah, I sent him a kid's book with Inside Out, the Inside Out 2,
Oh,
but it's about anxiety. And I'm like, this is perfect for Chris, perfect for a baby. And Emily can read it too. So
probably doesn't
And who
even
else?
remember what I got him. My gift is
Yeah.
probably in the trash compared to
yeah.
that one.
It's like, oh,
that's
he
so cool.
he bought me more diapers. It's just what we need.
Yeah.
We
Bought him-
we
bought him
forget
a-
he bought us.
Yeah. Bought him diapers for his baby's birth, and then when he got married, I sent him a toaster. So
Oh, yeah.
I think those are pretty good gifts.
the basic white man wedding gift, right?
Yeah. Oh, I do want to bring it back to your travel agency. I was going to ask you something that you can see through the growth of your business is also the growth of your family. Obviously, with Piper growing up and everything like that, and you can see from when did you start it? 2020, right? Because of COVID.
Yep. Yeah. I started my business August 2020 when nobody's
Yeah.
traveling.
Yeah.
Nobody's leaving the
good-
house. Yeah.
Well, that's actually a good time to start it because
Yeah, it's a
people are
really good
planning
time
to
to start.
travel when
Yeah.
the time is done. Yeah.
Yeah. As a
You
marketing
saw a huge
as a
travel
marketing
business
guy,
going
I
on.
knew that was going to be the right segment for me to get into at the time. And I was already selling travel a little bit on the side, but I was over the job I was in a corporate job selling. It was a fun job. It sounds fun selling liquor.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm going to bars all day and trying liquor samples. But after a while, I mean, I was in the alcohol industry for 16 years. I'm like, I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to see that. I'm
Yeah.
tired of it. So
Do you still drink?
hardly.
Really?
Yeah, I have literally 400 bottles of liquor sitting in my house right now.
Wow.
And I'll have maybe one drink a week, if that.
Do you ever drink on vacation?
That's
Or
probably the
or
most.
no, because it's technically work hours.
No, because I probably drink more on vacation because
Mm.
I try out the drinks for content, essentially.
Oh,
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's like Sean and I just got back from Royal Caribbean on the brand new Icon of the Seas back in January. We got invited on a previous sailing. And
Mm.
because it was a previous sailing, they want us to showcase it. So content creation, they gave us all a drink package so we could drink for free. So 99% of the drinks I probably had maybe 2 sips of them and just took a picture and then left
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
But still that's about the only time I do. So
yeah.
Mhm.
Does that stuff get compensated for you, or are you paying for that yourself?
so
I know this is different for a lot of people.
yeah. So in my industry, so we get what's called hosted for
Mm.
certain events type thing. So usually when it's hosted, it's mostly paid for, or we do have to pay
Mm.
some sort of fee to still attend it or something like that to cover insurance and all that, or pay for our own flights there or something. So for that one, it was included, but yeah, like I'm going down to Sandals next week to Sandals and Curacao. So that one's another hosted trip too. So the suppliers like us to showcase it because we're content creators too. They,
Oh yeah.
especially right now for my business, I focus heavily on social media. So that's my content creation. And they see me showing it. So they want me to go down and visit it so I can show it to my clients. So.
So let me ask you this, Nick. What is the most out there location you have
Mm.
booked someone a trip for out of curiosity? Because I'm sure you book a lot of cruises, a lot of like amusement park or theme park
Mhm.
type trips. What some of like the most out there places you've booked into?
Um, I get random requests occasionally for like Tennessee. Yeah.
What?
I mean, in Ohio,
Oh, for like Nashville, I guess.
Smoky Mountains,
not even
probably.
Nashville. Yeah, it's not even Nashville.
Like
Yeah, you
Pigeon
would
Really?
Forge.
think the Nashville, Smoky Mountains are like really big for a lot of Ohio travelers, especially to go to because it's like a 6 hour drive.
Yeah.
It's nice in the mountains. You can go to Dollywood. So that's probably like the most random one I get requests for anymore. I don't do much with it because cabin rentals were completely different than hotels. Um, trying to think, there was a crazy one lately. It's like somewhere in Utah. I'm like,
It's a random one.
yeah.
Did
And then I get
Tori contact you to go to Idaho? Because she had to go to Idaho for a wedding. Did you
no,
book her? Did you book her plane ticket?
no, but I did meet somebody
Did you
from
book the
Idaho. Yeah,
shitty flight that she had?
Spirit Airlines.
Yeah, oh my
Um,
God, dude. No, she flew, dude. She flew Delta and had a like 6 hour layover in Salt Lake City coming home from Idaho. Didn't get home to Philadelphia until like 5 in the morning and didn't get to
Jeez.
her house till like 10. I was like, dude, like
Oh
if
wow.
if I was on that flight, I would be like, I don't know how she did. She was amazing. How many honeymooners do you get?
There's been quite a few honeymooners. I don't get. I actually have my first wedding client, or actually my second wedding client next year.
Really?
Chris's sister is booking through
Oh,
me,
that's right. Yeah.
and they're doing
Where are they getting
a destination wedding. I can't legally say her name or
Oh
where she's
yeah, I guess
going,
you
but
can, yeah.
maybe somewhere in the Dominican Republic. We'll
Okay.
go with that. So,
Oh, cool.
Where
um,
was the first one that you booked?
I
What was
I almost
that?
forgot the first one. So this one's Chris's sister's weddings is gonna be bigger. My
Mm,
first one it was an elopement essentially. So they
mm.
went to Hawaii and
Oh, that's cool.
got married. They stayed at Aulani, but they got married at a beach nearby. So I hired the
Mm.
wedding company to help plan the ceremony and the photography and everything too. So yeah, it's been a lot of honeymooners.
Cool.
Actually, I have a gay couple going on a honeymoon in 2 weeks.
Oh, awesome.
So they're spending 7 days at Walt Disney World and 7 days on Disney Cruise, and
Oh,
That's
oh
fun.
man,
I'm like
that's
that's
a
an
beautiful thing.
awesome, yeah. I'm
Are
like
you
for me,
kidding me? Wow.
I was nerding out. I'm like, not only is it a gay couple that booked through me, I don't even
Yeah.
know them.
You want to
They
join
somehow
them?
found me. Ah,
You want to
yeah,
go with them?
they found me somewhere in Kansas. Literally, they live in Kansas, and I
Oh,
sent them like a nice little care package. I have a friend that's going to surprise them with something at the resort too, and
oh
Oh,
they,
that's
wow.
cool.
so yeah.
Mm.
Can you disclose like how much a vacation like that, around estimation, how much a vacation like that would cost for a 7 day cruise and a 7 day stay at Disney?
It was probably somewhere around 14,000 for two. They went top end on this trip.
I will. That's
They're
worth
staying
it.
at
I,
they're staying at Polynesian Resort. They're doing
I'm
like
just
the
saying.
fireworks cruises. They
Veranda
got
I mean,
room.
You
They
only
have a
honeymoon once.
yeah.
So.
They got a limo picking them up from the Orlando
Dude, oh
airport.
my God,
I'm
that's
like,
incredible.
Wow,
yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
I'm like,
That's
really
should
cool.
I take an
That's a
Uber? And I'm
sick
like,
wedding.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky on the Uber ride sometimes. So
Okay,
They're
but
gonna
hear
get
me
they're gonna
out.
they're
Other
gonna like
top
renew yeah,
honeymoon destination.
they're gonna
Honeymoon
like
in
renew their vows in
Iowa.
like 5
Iowa.
years.
You can check out the Herbert
again.
Hoover Presidential Library. You can check out the Music Man Museum, and you can check out the Native American mounds. Just saying, Iowa's going to be the next honeymoon
Okay.
destination in 5 years.
for $300, you and your spouse
Exactly.
can go to Iowa.
For a honeymoon, the wedding would cost more than the honeymoon.
Right.
The ring would cost more than the honeymoon.
Yeah, it's like my wedding was cheaper than my honeymoon. We did a low key wedding here, but we spent a good chunk of change going to Australia.
Oh,
Ooh.
wow.
Yeah.
I thought you'd gotten married in California Adventure.
We did. So we got married in Disneyland, California. So it wasn't that expensive because my cousin got ordained out there. So
Oh,
we
wow.
did it. We did it very low key. My parents were there. They surprised us. And we got married right inside the park and California Adventure. And Goofy was like conducting this water show, so he came over and took pictures with us afterwards.
Oh, that's
wow.
cool.
So it was really awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Was he
That's
in like
really
his
cool.
special tuxedo uniform, or was
Yep.
it just regular Goofy?
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
that's
in
really
he was
cool.
in tuxedo. Like we timed it out perfectly, and
Yeah.
we thought we are gonna get in trouble because we're doing a wedding inside of Disney, and we didn't do it through Disney.
Oh,
But his handler saw that we were doing it, so they brought him over, and
wow.
I found a photographer too. So we had this like magic moment at Disney. So
Yeah.
and for us,
That's cool.
and for this being 2014, and us being a gay couple from Ohio, we're like, shit, like we're gonna get kicked out of Disneyland. Like, what's gonna happen? But it was just everybody was so supportive and amazing
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
You know, since we're talking about like weddings in Disney, RJ, and I guess I'll come back to Nick as well, like a fantasy scenario. If you could legitimately book through the Disney weddings, like you can get married anywhere in Disney World or Disneyland, and you can even get married on a ride. Like if you wanted to get married going backwards
Ooh.
on space of Earth, like anything is fair game. So Ryan, RJ, where are you getting married on?
It's tough, and I guess we haven't talked about this on the show. My obsession with the national parks. I'd probably choose like a national park.
Oh, that's
Disney.
right.
But we'll
That would
get to
actually
that
be
in
a
a future
really
episode.
beautiful setting.
That would be, but yeah, Cuyahoga Valley. No,
Yeah.
no, we'll get to the whole national parks in a future installment of Creators United. And Disney, that's a tough one. That's something I'm gonna need some time to think about.
Yeah, sure. Nick, do you have like a fantasy scenario?
I feel like what's weird now is both Sean and I would probably like thinking about it ahead of time. Sean and I would probably argue over where it would be. He'd probably want it in Galaxy's Edge, or in like the Marvel Land. Or something.
Is he? Where is he right now?
He's down in the basement.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if he's near, you call him up.
No.
I want his answer on this.
He's
down there.
He probably fell asleep knowing him.
Probably.
Yeah, he'd probably say like Marvel or Galaxy's Edge or something. For me, Pixar is my go-to. Also, it's like I felt like us 10 years ago would have said In Front of the Castle, hands down. Now I'm like, I'd want to be married in Pixar Land and have all the characters there and everything.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
I've got an answer.
Oh, go ahead, RJ.
Lobby of the Grand Floridian.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Which one are you doing though? Are you doing the regular lobby, or are you going over to the DVC one and getting married in front of the penguins? The penguin.
No, main lobby. As much as I love penguin for the reception.
Okay.
Are you gonna have doves flying out of the cages there?
Oh, I like it. I like it.
He's gonna have the orchestra
or is it Christmas time with a gingerbread house?
As much as I love Christmas, I think I gotta go like a spring wedding.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be fun.
Maybe they could like with the lagoon right behind. You walk outside. They got like the orcas in there or whatever they've got in the.
Have your own like topiary.
You can time it too. Because you could do when you're pronounced as married.
Yeah.
You time the kiss right as the electrical water pageant is coming behind you.
Ooh, I like it.
I mean,
wedding electric boogaloo. Very cool.
Exactly.
All right, what's your answer, Dane?
Honestly, I would really, I, I would private screening of Phantasmic. Honestly, that show makes me that show is so important. It's legitimately the my favorite Disney World product. I would say not just show, just attraction. It's just my favorite thing Disney has ever
What
created.
if instead of Mickey driving the steamboat, that your significant other is one that pops up?
Yeah.
And that's how it starts.
It's definitely a proposal right there.
Yeah. I've honestly thought about it. But if it's a fantasy scenario, it's like we get pronounced as husband and wife, and then as we're kissing, right, is when you hear "Welcome to Phantasmic tonight, your friend and host Mickey Mouse," and then the show starts. And then instead of Mickey popping up from the stage, it's my best man. No, that's going too far. No, but it would probably be like,
I'm just imagining Kermit popping up there.
Yeah. It would be
That'd be
it would
fun.
be because like there's the venue, right? Because the whole amphitheater is where all the people are sitting for the.
So yeah, I'm wondering, are you getting married in the amphitheater, or are you on like the rocks out there?
I would say we are probably on the rocks and everybody else is in the amphitheater. Well, maybe not, because then I can't enjoy the show because I would have to eat like
They can just
swim
put you on
across.
one of those little floating boats that are just
They
automatic
could.
and just take
They
you back
could
and
do
forth
that.
the whole
Yeah.
time.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, we would have to time it, but it can be done, because instead of running down the aisle, you run down, get on the boat, and then front row seat. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably it. Real quick, Ryan, fun little segment we do on this show. I don't know if you remember it. Do you have a
It's been a
question
while
for
since we recorded
Yeah.
this show.
You have a question for us this evening?
What is
Or
the
you
worst
might
kind of
ruin the
soup?
episode here.
Worst soup that exists.
Oh, this is an easy one. It's an easy
Tomato.
one. No, all of them. I hate soup. I do not like soup.
You don't like a nice clam chowder or a lobster bisque?
No. Well, I can going back to the getting sick thing. I can drink or eat chicken and corn soup. But other than that, I do not like soup. To me, it's just warmed water. It's like if you're gonna be warming water, put mac
Is
and
that a
cheese in there.
southern? Is that like a Florida thing too, or is that just you?
No, it's just me. I don't live in Florida. I live closer
Oh.
to you guys. I live in Pennsylvania. But no, I don't like soup. I never like soup.
So when they say soup or salad, you always go salad?
I don't even go salad. I'm an unhealthy bitch. I don't even go salad. I skip the
dude,
appetizer.
You're like, just
salads
leave
are one of my favorite foods.
Leave that shit in the back.
They don't ask me super salad when I'm standing in line looking at the menu on Five Guys, depending on, asking myself if I want to take out a mortgage for the best burger I've ever tasted. I don't go to restaurants that you kidding me? Soup and salad? I don't go to those restaurants.
Dude, you don't just one of the best meals ever is I come back here home after a long day and I pour a full bowl of veggies, and then you get some salad dressing, a little bit of croutons, chop up some onions, maybe get some avocado in there. Great salad. Best days. No, you guys don't like salads?
I like salads. I do.
Salads are great, dude.
I don't really eat salads all that much. I'm more of just like, if I want something healthy, I'm just gnawing on some like carrot bits or something, like the mini carrots.
Like a rabbit?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Doc?
Every time you send Dane the wooden thing that the guinea pigs chew on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like Scott, the cartoon thing, the cartoon corn.
I've been trying to go towards salads lately, just because my health's been shit. So I'm trying to find new ways, and salads are really good. I just sometimes like a burger.
Just don't take I just don't take the time to make it too.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be making dinner for myself, which is I don't do very often, because you do not want me in the kitchen. Like the only thing that I can cook are chicken parm and mac and cheese. Like you get
Chicken
my
parm?
ass out of get my ass out of the kitchen. You do not want to see me cook. But so if I'm going to be taking the time to prepare a meal, it's not going to be a salad.
Hey,
It's just
anyone can
not.
cook.
No, they cannot. That is just not true.
That's what Chef Cousteau said.
Chef Cousteau is wrong. Very wrong. But go to ABC Commissary pre-COVID. Tell me if anyone can cook there. Professional chefs in Disney World don't know how to make a pizza. No one and anyone cannot cook. So Nick, you said tomato soup, right?
Yeah, tomato soup. I don't like it.
Like you just don't like canned tomato
That's
soup?
fair.
Mm-mm.
I
It's
like
probably like the
grilled
only one like
cheese.
I would. I've tried it with grilled cheese. For me, it's chicken noodle soup with grilled cheese, but
Interesting.
yeah.
Huh.
Sean's big on tomato soup, but it's only when he has grilled cheese.
Mhm. I'm very much the same way.
What's your least favorite soup, Brian? RJ?
Ooh.
You are
Okay.
the sophisticated gentleman, so this is your type of question. You go to like 4-course meal restaurants, like for every meal.
You don't even know. I was made fun of at work 2 weeks ago for talking about my 5-course dinner. So here's the thing. I don't really eat during the day. And so I get home and I have a 5-course dinner. And so it starts out where I'll have like some, chips and salsas, course one.
Mhm.
And then maybe I'll have, maybe I'll have I don't know, have a salad. That's probably course two. Then I'll have some carrots. That's course three. Course four is like a banana.
Carrot is
Course
not an
five.
entire course, though, man.
No, that's
Carrot's
my
a
course.
side
That's my
dish. Come
course.
on.
No, that's my
No,
course.
that
That's
does
the
not
course.
count as a course.
Yeah.
And a
How
banana
big
is
is the carrot?
Well, it's a few different carrots, carrots and some ranch. That's a course of my meal. And then
Nick,
I
do you
ended
think
off
carrots
on
and
some
ranch count as a whole course?
I don't think that's part of a meal.
I don't. That's more of a snack or a
Yeah.
side.
Well, because you
dish.
said banana next, and I'm like, what kind of
If you want to
dinner
know
is
how to
this?
make a banana a full meal, just hit up Chris. I've seen him do it. That guy is amazing what he can do with a peeled banana.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
and then I end off my 5-course dinner with the last course, which is either going to be some pudding or some Jello. So,
But what's the
Oh.
main? What's the main course?
Is there
Is
either
the banana?
salad
is there
or
any sort of
sometimes I'll make like a pasta with bolognese sauce.
Okay, I can
is
get
there
down
any
for
sort of
those.
meat? Do you
Yeah,
do
in the
meat?
bolognese sauce.
Can you cook
Or
me this dinner? If we ever meet up, if
I
I'm
have
in
been-
town in Columbus and I somehow get
Some-
invited to your
some
apartment, can
carrots
you
and
cook me
ranch.
this meal?
I imagine you just have it on like a nice platter. Like you probably put it in like a restaurant style, like super 5-star restaurant.
Probably.
I wish I did. I usually see them out of the bag while I'm watching Shark Tank clips.
Honestly, when we meet up, because it's probably going to be sometime soon, when we meet up, I am taking you to this restaurant that has an unbelievable chicken parm, and we are
Comparing it to
having
my
a chicken
chicken parm?
meal.
Oh, okay. I see.
No, dude, comparing it to you're gonna bring
I'm
compare it.
bringing my own chicken.
in a cooler.
But yes, I have been informed that my dinners are considered girl dinner, whatever that is. So apparently that's a thing.
I've never
know,
heard
apparently
of
that's a
sushi
term that the
girl
kids
dinner
are
before.
using
I don't
these
know what
days.
that means.
I wouldn't say
I don't
that.
know.
It's just it's interesting. It's not like a
It's a
dude
Remy dinner.
Yeah.
It's he wants to sound he wants to sound more upscale than he is. So he's like, my 5-course, my banana is 1 course.
Well, I'm trying to think
My
back to when I
cut up
was
banana in the cereal.
like single and living.
course.
You live alone, right?
Yeah.
Is there people in the house?
There's somebody in the house.
There's somebody behind you.
You don't live anymore, right? You don't live alone anymore.
I'm trying to remember what I used to eat. Like, if anything, it was like Kraft mac and cheese, like all the time.
There you
Or
go.
chicken nuggets.
I haven't
That
had
was my
chicken
meals.
nuggets in a while.
The
Actually,
Remy-
no, because
the Remy
Wendy's.
menu.
Wendy's. But no, least
Kraft
favorite
mac and cheese
soup.
and DoorDash, the ultimate living alone menu.
I once
it's
had
like-
this really spicy gumbo that I couldn't handle. That's probably my least favorite soup.
Speaking of DoorDash, I feel like if Scott was on this episode, he could probably talk about this a lot, or Alex, because they're both editors. Have you guys spent an unreasonable amount of DoorDash or
yeah.
unreasonable amount of money on DoorDash because you're too lazy to stop editing and go and cook something? Because I've done that many times during editing
every
sessions.
every time.
I
Oh,
have
Nick, you
actually
could
never
talk
used
about this.
DoorDash.
Really?
I only actually, that's a lie. I used it once when Jersey Mike's had a deal with free delivery. That's the
Mm.
only time I've ever used DoorDash.
But you live like near a campus, right? In Ohio?
No, I'm a 15-minute drive.
Oh, no, you don't. Okay. I was gonna say if you live where I think you live, then I think
Mm.
the delivery would be just
Yeah, it's
very
not
quick and
not a lot
cheap
of options
because
for you there. Or
yeah.
I
I don't
guess I
like to
mean there's
spend extra
options, but
money either.
it's all local places up where you're at.
Yeah, it is mostly local stuff. So.
I guess Nick, you could probably talk about this because you're on the Disney hold for like Disney World
Mhm.
phone number hold for like 15 hours a day trying to
Yeah,
book vacations. So have you ever have you
that's
ever
what I was
done
doing
that?
right before. That's literally what I was doing right before we start podcasting. I was literally on with Disney Cruise Line,
There you go.
um, chatting, but all the time, like our both Sean and I, Sean's schedule, he works retail, so
Mm.
his hours are all over the place. So
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
I'm home at night with Piper, sometimes he's home together. So occasionally, if he has energy, he'll cook, but
Yeah.
with having a kid too, we're just like, let's just DoorDash. It's easier.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have the DoorDash premium now because of how often I was doing that while making Beyond the Glass.
Mhm.
Specifically Beyond the Glass is why I bring this up because I was working on that nonstop. So I would some days I would be like, I just want to keep working on this. I don't want to stop
Well,
to
also
like actually
our
cook.
problem is we get high and then order cake on DoorDash at 10 o'clock at night.
You can order cake on DoorDash?
You can order
No,
condoms on DoorDash, dude.
yeah,
Come
you can,
on. Like
yeah.
you can order stuff through CVS through the like their
And we're not
pharmacy
ordering like the
delivery.
cheap ass, and of course we don't order the cheap ass like cake from like Burger
Yeah.
King or something. We order from
Wait,
Cap
Burger
City
King has
Fine.
cake?
They have like a little to-go pie
Don't they have
type
like little
things.
like cupcake things?
I can't remember. They used to
Like it's
have
like
like
very small
these
cakes.
chocolate
It's not a
pies
whole like
I
it's
loved.
not a
Yeah.
whole
I've never
like
even been to Burger
birthday
King.
cake. Yeah.
So this is wild.
Like we order Cap City Fine Diner chocolate cake, which is a Cameron
Mm.
Mitchell restaurant, which is amazing. And it's like
Mhm.
$40 later, our cake comes.
The experience is worth it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we make it fun at home too, because when we eat it, we have to put it on a nice plate like we're at the restaurant. So we feel like
Mhm.
we're eating out sometimes.
But Dane, you brought up Beyond the Glass. And
Yeah.
as we're starting to close out our episode here, what can you tell our listeners since you haven't really spoken about your documentary on Creators United?
Oh yeah, sure. It's quite both of you have seen it. Have both of you seen it?
I'll be
I know
honest, I
RJ
haven't been home
has.
to see it yet.
It's an hour and 40, dude. I understand. But it's an hour and 40-minute feature length documentary and it's 15.7K views right now.
Wow.
It's almost to 16,000. And yeah, it's just been getting a lot of traction. It was on like Laughing Place, the one of the Disney World news sites like posted a whole article about it, and like Jim Hill from Jim Hill Media was talked about it on 2 episodes of one of his podcasts, which was really cool. So yeah, it's been getting a lot of traction from like major sources in it was shared in some like industry newsletter. It's been shared on LinkedIn, like legitimate sources have been sharing it, which is just really cool. And like everyone that has watched it, there's only let me look up like the like ratio because it's insane. Because I have not gotten a single bad comment from it, and that includes people who are in it too. Which is
Yeah,
what
That's
go
the
change
awesome.
that.
that's what that's the most scared thing that I was about releasing it is what will the people who are in it think about it? Because I didn't, it was like, what if I screwed up the story that I was trying to tell you? You know what I
Right.
mean? But thankfully, people who are in it and people who worked at the studio who aren't even in it and nothing to do with it, everyone's saying they really enjoyed it. The like ratio is 374 likes to 1 dislike. Because
Wow, I
probably
can't believe
some
someone disliked
asshole,
it.
yeah, probably some asshole had to, he probably enjoyed the film, but he's just somehow had to click the dislike
Yeah.
button.
Could have been some old guy that accidentally clicked the wrong button.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably RJ. Honestly,
It
it's
definitely
probably
was
you.
wasn't
RJ.
me. I don't like videos.
It was probably classic Ryan or someone. Honestly.
Somebody that doesn't know how to use the internet, like Bryan.
Probably
He's still on
Scott.
AOL dial-up probably. So
Scott's been doing a lot of cool promotion for it too. I've really appreciated him giving it so many shout outs too.
that's awesome. I've honestly been traveling literally the last like 2 weeks now, and still
Mm.
trying to get caught up on work. So
No,
it
it's
is,
understandable.
yeah,
It's a thing that it's a video that you need to like sit down, like you need to be somewhere where you can sit down and really watch it. Like you can't listen to it like some of my other videos. Like I'm honored whenever somebody watches my video at all, but it's really cool when I hear that people like listen to it at work or like listen to it when they're like eating lunch or something. Or watch it, especially watching it during lunch. I love that when I hear that. But this one it's a good like you have nothing to do for an evening, sit down and watch it, you know.
I would actually recommend watching
Candid
Beyond the Glass during a 5-course meal for dinner.
yeah.
Yeah, you probably that's how you probably watched it, honestly.
It is.
The best way that I think to watch really sit down and enjoy it is to have a nice candlelight dinner with a significant other, you know, preferably at like a very fancy restaurant, and then come home and you know, turn off the lights, put the candles on, watch the film, have a great time while watching the film, you know, hopefully really enjoy the film. And then you know, since you had a good evening, why end it there? You watched a good movie, let's take it to the bedroom, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I think it's the best way to to enjoy the movie.
Wow. You ready to go watch another movie eating popcorn in bed?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, me and I don't know, RJ. I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if you ever gotten this advice or not. But watching a really good movie can really set the mood for a good night, if you know what I mean. Isn't that true, Nick?
Yeah.
If you watch a good film, like you're set for the rest of the
Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked.
It works, dude. I swear to you, it works. I
Gotta find one that just puts you in a fun, positive
Yeah.
spirit for me.
Especially ones that you haven't seen. Like if it's one that you
I feel like I'd
haven't
be
seen
concerned if it was
before,
like a scary movie.
Yeah.
Mm.
except Scary Movie,
Yeah.
like the film
Yeah.
series.
The funny
Like
one.
the film
Yeah.
scary movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's especially it's a home run. It's like a Nick Castellanos home run when you watch a movie that you've never seen before and it's so banger and it's like it ends at like 10 o'clock at night. Your night is set. Like you've scored. But Nick, I wanted to bring this up specifically because I know I've been looking at a lot of like Disney Cruise Line itineraries for 2025, specifically for like the Disney Treasure and the Disney Fantasy, because the Fantasy is my favorite ship.
That's
I
my
wanna go
favorite
on
one
there.
too. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. The itineraries are better than the Dream. I know it's the same ship, but the itineraries are better. That's what makes it our favorite, I think. But so I've been looking at these cruises and I really want to go on some of them. So like, what are some best itineraries that you would say, not just for the Disney Cruise Line, but for any cruise line, any like Disneyland, Disney World package that you can put together for 2025? What would you say are some of the best for some people to think about?
So the top one I keep getting a lot of requests for is the Mediterranean itinerary. So it sails from like Spain, France, Italy, Greece itineraries too are huge right now. Europe is insane.
Yeah. I've been noticing
Uh,
the Dream has a lot more
yeah.
European
Yeah,
sailings this year
Disney
as well.
finally is sailing a bunch over there. The Alaska itineraries are always a huge one. We're doing a Southern Caribbean next year, which starts in San Juan and
Yeah.
goes down a lot further south to like Curacao, St. Kitts, and St. Lucia and all that. So
Yeah, very cool.
I'll do that now.
I don't know if you've seen this one, but there's I think it's the Treasure 4 or 5 night. You get two Castaway Key nights and then one at Lighthouse, I think.
I think I remember seeing that one. Yeah. There's a couple unique ones in there that had those like double dips.
Yeah.
Or visited both islands too.
Yeah. So if I decide that I want to go on one of those, that I'm actually going to pull the trigger, you're going to get a text from
You got to
me
do it.
because yeah, because I really want to go on one of those. Yeah, the Alaska ones I really want to. I would like to go on too, because I think those
Yeah.
would be really. Have you ever
Alaska's
been on
been,
one of those?
we have not done it yet. We're waiting until Piper turns 8 because most of the excursions that, and you have to do excursions in Alaska itineraries,
Mm,
otherwise you're definitely missing out on a
yeah.
lot. All the excursions are like 8 and up, so we're trying to wait until she's old enough for
Mm,
that. Um, so yeah, we haven't done it yet. It's been on our list for quite a few years now. We were supposed to do Hawaii
mm.
back in 2020. It was on the Disney cruise, and it's the first one to Hawaii from Vancouver. Um, Unfortunately, didn't make that one.
Yeah. Something I've been seeing a lot more on Twitter, and I always say I don't know, it's just been a weird debate I've been seeing recently. People have been talking about if it's wise to bring 1 or 2 year olds to Disney because will they remember it, you know? And I always say that one is way too young. Like they won't remember it. I think if you are bringing if you aren't Disney fans and you're going there just because of the kid, I don't think it's a wise decision. But as a travel agent or a owner of a business, do you think that that is too young to bring a kid? And what would you say the best amount of time to spend is for a Disney World vacation? Like how many amount of days?
So we actually just had this discussion a little bit on Destination Diz that we're doing, which is
Mm,
kind of a little spin-off um, of travel updates. We
yeah.
started doing myself, Maddie, and Ryan have been doing it. So Sean and I have always been huge Disney fans. So we started going to Disney together, I think in 2010, almost once a year.
Oh,
And we always said there's no age is too young. So we took Piper when she was 4 months old.
wow.
And we did it for her essentially too, because
Yeah.
we wanted to introduce her to Disney. But also looking at it, we saw Disney in a whole different set of eyes, essentially.
Mm,
We saw Disney through her eyes. So even though she doesn't remember those trips there, um, we remember them. We have
yeah.
lots of great memories of her with the character interactions that we had. Like I could tell you a story and we'd probably all be crying
Mm,
after it too. But it's just amazing to see Disney through your child's eyes. And if you're not a Disney fan, you're going to become a Disney fan when you see it through your kid's eyes too, because
mhm,
it's just so magical what they do and what they can still do as an adult too.
mhm,
So yeah, but yeah, we took her at 4 months. I always recommend going on to Disney 7 days.
That's what
That
I
way
do.
you get a day on the end for your travel days. You get 4 days at the parks, and you get a rest day in the middle. For me, that's like the perfect Disney week.
Yeah. I agree. I 100%. I think that's the best um amount of days. Uh I guess it depends like what the situation is with the kids being young thing because I don't know. I have too many friends that are like, "Oh, I've gone to Disney World, but I don't remember it," and they've never gone since. So I think that's why I kind of say like a couple months old, 1 or 2 is a little too young. Um, but but I do agree with you because you bring Piper down to Disney all the time.
Mhm.
Bringing her at 4 months old is a lot different situation for you, and I think that seeing that would kind of
Yeah,
be like
and it's
going to
different
Disney
too
for the first
because
time again.
I get it. Not as many families are as fortunate as I have been
Yeah,
myself because my parents took us on vacations every single year.
yeah,
I have a lot of clients that come to me and they don't vacation every year,
mm,
or they go every 5 years. They have to save up for it for a couple of years, which I get that, and I get if you're that kind of family that needs to save up and
yeah,
wait until they're maybe 5. That's 4 or 5 is kind of a good age range, I think. Piper's 6 now, and when we were just at Disney 2 weeks ago, she was actually recalling these memories that she had, and
oh
she's like,
wow,
"Was I 4 or was I 6 when I
yeah.
did
I do
this?"
that. I do that too. That's cool when
So
that happens.
yeah, so it was cool to see it as a parent now of seeing her, because she's been to Disney probably 20 times now. So,
Mm.
but for her to kind of figure out what years those were, it's cool to kind of see those memories that were forming for her, and I
Oh
still
yeah.
remember them too. So,
So I do have one last question for us real quick, and we can just go around. It's a very simple question. We've all traveled a bunch. We've all been to theme parks a bunch. Um, so what would you say that your best travel experience is? Like the best trip, I would say.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Who wants to go first?
I'll
Anyone?
go first since I'm
You
the
go first.
travel
Go ahead, Nick.
since I'm the travel
Yeah.
agent here. Um, Probably one of my most recent ones, essentially, would be our first cruise on Virgin Voyages.
Mm,
It was our first vacation post-COVID, um, when things were kind of opening back up. I mean, I guess we did take one to Universal too, but our first trip alone. So as a parent, having a kid and traveling with your kid is so much fun. I love it. But sometimes you need those reconnection times. And for Sean and I, we reconnected on our first Virgin cruise again. And and I see that with a lot of my clients now too, of hearing their stories of them. The reason they're vacationing is they're so stressed and tired of working and everything. So for me to own a business too, that I travel all the time now, it's hard to sit back and think about it and realize that vacations are a good time to reconnect. So,
mm. Yeah,
so I'd say
absolutely.
my first Virgin one.
What about you, RJ?
Ooh, I'm a big road trip guy. And I
Mm,
love history, and so any trip that has I'm going to a whole bunch of different places and there's history involved is going to be very high on my list. A couple of years ago, I took a road trip around the Midwest, ended up at going as far west as Kansas, saw Eisenhower's museum out there, saw a whole city based around the Wizard of Oz, which was really cool.
mm,
That's
Ended
fun.
up in Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago. That was super, super neat.
yeah.
Different trip recently, also a road trip with history through Oklahoma City and then Texas and Arkansas was super fun. I've got another trip coming up soon that might end up kicking those off. We'll see how that one goes. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Just
Fun.
any road
Nice.
trips with history are always going to be super high
Yeah.
up for me.
Yeah, dude, RJ, you said the last time one episode, I forget if it was on this show or somewhere else. I think it might have been on this show. You said about the last time you went down to Disney was 22, right?
Good memory, yes, yes.
Yeah. Do you drive to Florida or do you fly?
I prefer to drive anywhere when I
Mm.
can, and I'm not one of those people that's afraid of flying. That's not it
Hmm.
at all.
Yeah.
It's for me two
Just like
reasons
the road
why I
trip.
prefer to drive. Yeah, yeah. I like seeing things when I'm driving, and I
Oh
also like
yeah.
the freedom of driving. And I just kind of, I don't know, I feel like I have less freedom when I'm flying when there's delays and things like
Mm.
Yeah.
that. Versus
Yeah.
driving, I can just get
That's
on the
fair.
road, put on, the No New Friends podcast or something like that, and just head out. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I would probably my best trip or like my best vacation, I guess, would probably be 2021. It comes down to two, because like 2021 or 2023, the recent time I went to Disney. Because like I know that we're talking about Sandpiper, obviously, and Sandpiper does all kinds of vacations, not just a Disney, I'm sure that Disney is your most popular play. Like,
Hmm.
what's your ratio to Disney Universal? Would you say Disney is your most
Uh,
popular client?
oh, definitely. Yeah. For
Okay.
us, Disney is like 95% to 5%
Okay, there you
Universal.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some of my friends that own travel agencies, and their ratio is completely opposite too.
Mm,
So it's a weird how different the clientele is for the two
mhm,
parks.
yeah.
mhm,
Yeah, but the reason I mean I keep bringing up Disney, I mean I keep bringing up Disney World myself is because that's the only really place besides Universal, obviously. I'm going there 3 times. Um, that's really the only place that I vacation to other than like the beach, you know.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, probably either Disney World in 2021 because I that trip I had the best day in a Disney park in my entire life. Like it was in Hollywood Studios before noon. we got on Rise of the Resistance because it was on boarding pass at the time, or virtual queue.
Mm.
And we got on Rise of the Resistance, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Slinky all before noon. And it was an unreal. I think like at around 12, then we got on Runaway. Like it was an unbelievable morning and just an unbelievable day. And then
was that just like the post-COVID thing probably too?
Oh yeah.
When
Yeah, it was absolutely.
I know. I was so mad that I couldn't make it down to Disney then. I was like, that would have been the best.
It was really cool
time to go.
It was because there was like no. I mean, Everest. Everest has like a 20-minute wait now. It was like walk on. Like you would go to Animal Kingdom like. It's kind of still this way, honestly, but especially then, you would go to Animal Kingdom like 2-3 hours before it closed. There was no one there. Like you could almost like wait 20 minutes.
Yeah, I remember seeing the wait times with some of my clients. Like I'm weird and I'll look at the app sometimes. Like when I have clients down there, just
I do that all the time too. Oh, I do it all the time.
So I'm like, I'm not the only nerd here.
No, yeah, especially for Disneyland because I'm going to Disneyland in September. So
yeah, it's kind of it's nice to sit there and look and to kind of plan ahead and see like the stays. I can come up with a plan and where to go and when.
Oh yeah, yeah, but it was
I'm
the
same way with the National Parks app actually, so I can
There you
completely relate.
Yeah. I have one of my agents that works for me is a huge national park, so she's got all of them too.
Yeah. But and then in 23 when I went the last time, it was the first time that I went down since Fantasmic was back, and like I said, favorite show of all time, favorite Disney World product of all time. So that was obviously a huge thing for me to see again. I went every single night of that trip. I went to see that show. I would be at like Magic Kingdom. Like there was we had dinner reservations at Ohana 6:10. I got out of dinner at like 7:20 or something. You know, it's Ohana. It takes you a while.
Yeah.
I got out of dinner, booked my ass to the bus
to Hollywood.
Yeah, and then the bus to Hollywood, and made it on time. I was crazy about seeing that show every night. It was unbelievable. I almost went down on the day. I almost made a like 3-day weekend trip just to see the return of Fantasmic. Like the day that it was returning, it was very close.
Because they also added new scenes then too, so it was like on top of it being slower. Yeah, the new scenes. So.
Oh, that's why I say that. That's why I say that Disney World's Fantasmic is better now because of the dragon, and the dragon just being gone. Like it doesn't have Murphy anymore. And also I just
Moana,
think
right?
I think the show. And I think Disney World show is a lot more fluent. Like Disneyland's is very choppy with the scene transitions. It's very strange.
It's part of it being on the rivers of America versus
it's a tiny set.
I disagree though. I think Disneyland set is actually really cool. I think Disney World is obviously better because it's a 10,000 capacity amphitheater, but I think what they worked well with the show in Disneyland. But because I think Disney World's is better now, and also the technology that is in that show now in Disney World is just unreal. So that's why I regard it so highly. But yeah, RJ, be the host, be boss man. Take us out.
Well, first and foremost, I think I say this after most Creators United episodes, but this has truly been one of my favorite conversations we've had on this podcast. Absolutely. I mean, we definitely got into some super deep topics, but we also had a lot of really fun conversations. And we just had some super introspective conversations. So I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. So thank you so much for joining us, Nick. Now, Nick,
thanks, Nick.
Once again, for our listeners, can you plug No New Friends podcast where folks can listen to that? And can you let them know where they can find Sandpiper Vacations?
Yeah, I've been very busy lately with content creating, but No New Friends podcast. You can find us on YouTube. We stream live on Wednesday nights on YouTube. We also, you can
9:30 a.m. on Wednesday on TikTok.
Yeah, it's like we're on
God
TikTok.
would kill us if we didn't say that. Yeah,
9:30 is on Wednesdays.
I feel him at his keyboard right now. Make sure to say Wednesday.
Yeah. We do After Dark if you're a Patreon member and all that. What else do we do? Destination Diz. You can listen to once a month. We'll have some surprise downloads attached to the new podcasts that RJ's on. And then sandpipervacations.com. You can find us there to book all your vacations. I just literally got back from a conference where it expanded our business. We now, like I said before, we always focus on Disney and cruising, and we talk about that a lot. But we can send clients anywhere around the world. If you want to
Yeah.
go on a river cruise or a expedition cruise to Antarctica, we can do anything. So,
Awesome. Yeah, everyone, be sure to check out Sandpiper Vacations. You don't pay anything, and you end up getting some of the single best deals that you'll find. Great service. Highly, highly recommend. Dane, you spoke a little bit about your documentary. Can you remind folks where they can find you?
Absolutely. YouTube.com/C/Big Beautiful Diz. And there's a lot more than just Beyond the Glass on there. But Beyond the Glass is easily my favorite project or video that I've ever made. I think it's the best one I've ever made by far. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't already.
And as a
And
reminder,
RJ, where can we find Disneyverse?
Oh, thank you, Dane. Into the
Yep.
Disneyverse will be launching, as I mentioned, on Monday, June 17th. That's going to be in the same RSS feed as the Diz His episodes currently are. All those Diz His episodes are going away, but Into the Disneyverse with myself, Chris, Alex, and Ryan will be starting up there. It's a different spin on the Diz His format. We're going to be looking at the past, present, and future of a wide variety of topics in the world of Disney and things Disney owns and has purchased. So it should be a very fun journey, starting off with the history of the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction for our first episode. So stay tuned for that. Now, on behalf of Nick and Dane, my name is Ryan, or RJ, or the Sophisticated Gentleman. Thank you so much for listening, and RIP, Scott.
Scott, we miss you.